Salutations, nerds! My name is Cads. Welcome to the channel. As an avid backpacker, hiker, and landscape photographer, one of the most frequently asked questions that I receive not only online but also from my students is how do I carry my camera gear into the backcountry? So I'm going to go over my first mistake and how that has shaped the rest of the gear that I still use to this day, when I use them, why I use them, why you should potentially consider using one of these, that and more coming up on this offering of gear testing with Cads. It's my first mirrorless camera, the Sony a6500 with a Sigma 16mm 1.4 lens, one of my favorite lenses ever made. And I had this camera system and this was the thing that I bought for it. The way that they advertised this was that, hey, we've interwoven metal throughout this entire thing. This thing I figured would be a nice rough and tumble piece of gear. Look at this. Look at how much this piece of work weighs. We're going to like 11.4 ounces. Ugh, younger me, too much weight. So this one, I'm just going to drop it. You know what? Ugh. There we go. Now it's on the ground. I'm going to grab the next piece of gear, which I actually still use to this day. Introducing the f-stop tiny, shallow ICU. So the idea behind this is that this is a camera bag insert. So this is made for f-stop bags. I don't have an f-stop bag or use them, but I do use their inserts. The walls are thick and it's very lightweight, all things considered. So remember, the last one was 11.4 ounces. Now when we weigh this, 5.5 ounces. So a considerable reduction in weight and also something that I still use to this day. So let me show you what my use case scenario was with this piece of gear. So at the time I had upgraded to the Sony a7R III and had the 16-35 f2.8 GM lens. And this is the lens that I carried every single trip that I went on. This is the Sony A1, but basically the body style is the same footprint. And what I found is that this could fit directly inside with the 16-35 lens, pretty snug. I could put accessories in here like my remote or a lens cleaner pen. And on top of that, I could take my filter system, the Lee filter system with the little stopper 6-stop ND filter and the polarizer. I could put it in a Lee filter pouch and set it right on top and close the whole thing up. So this was an all-in-one, one lens kit. I will still use this on occasion. Typically I'm doing kind of more like base camp trips or I'm flying on an airplane. This still provides a lot of protection at a reduced weight. My one problem was, how do I strap this to the outside of my bag? I never really found a way to do it. Now, the question then became, what if I want to take more than one lens? What do I do? What do I do? Okay. Introducing the f-stop small shallow. Basically twice the size. So 1/2, 2/2. It's basically double the size. So what this allowed me to do is not only carry 2 lenses, but I could effectively carry 3 lenses. The camera and the lens would sit right here. I could put another lens here and another lens here, plus my filter pouches and accessories. An awesome protective way to be able to carry my gear. But as you may have noticed from how big this is, it was kind of hard to put it into a bag with, consideration for space. But let's weigh it out. 9.6 ounces. So still lighter weight than the pack safe option. More protection. Doesn't have unnecessary metal sewn throughout. If I wanted to get rid of more weight, I could get rid of the D-rings and the Velcro, which is on the side. The handle is something that I use, but I ran into the same problem. How can I attach this to the outside of my bag? Because what I would have to do is set my bag down, open my bag up, get to my gear, take everything out, and then take photos. And I wanted a solution that was quicker. And on top of that, I did want a solution that was a bit more waterproof than this. Entering the ring is the Hyperlite Versa. So this is a fanny pack and or bum bag. So right back here are your straps. I've taken the straps off because I actually use this either on my hip belt or sternum strap. We'll talk about that here in a second. These can tuck right in here. But this for me came from a piece of gear change. I always wanted something which was a bit smaller. And on top of that, this is made of Dyneema and it has the more weatherproof zippers. So this is pretty weatherproof. I wouldn't necessarily like dunk this in water, but it could definitely stand a rain. And I actually had a bit of a gear change. So instead of the 16-35 f2.8 GM lens, I made the switch over to the new 16-35 f4 PZ Power Zoom G professionally rated lens. And as you can tell, there's a couple direct benefits. One, way smaller lens, way lighter weight. And on top of that, it did allow me to be able to now have a smaller case. So I didn't have to take bigger cases for this lens anymore. So this is the system that I came up with. Sony A1, fits right in here. Now the lens fits pretty snug over on this side. So what I ended up doing was taking a piece of 1/8" foam, closed cell foam. This is a piece of the Gossamer Gear foam. This I actually put trekking poles through, so now I'm using the material in different unique ways. And one of them that I've come up with is just a nice little piece of padding in between the camera and the lens. And so far I've taken this on a lot of trips and it works really well. It zips up just fine. I do have accessories which are up front. Currently have a directional mic, extra battery, lens pen. I have a backup memory card. There's a little microfiber in there as well. But this allows me to carry most everything that I need in one easy grab pouch. On my most recent videos, you actually do see this in use on both the hip belt and the sternum strap. Really easy to be able to just open this up, grab my camera system, put it together, start using it. What's kind of cool is because if this is on the sternum strap, or if it's on my waist belt, I can actually use this as just a spot to throw in my lens cap and the body caps and anything else that I need to be able to just have kind of this shelf storage, which is on me directly. Now, what if I want to carry a second lens? Well, I've got this system right here, and this is by Laurel Designs. So it has those similar type of zippers, similar type of material, and I have a lens which is also wrapped up in the Gossamer Gear 1/8" foam. And this is my secret weapon lens. This is the Sony 70-350G OSS Optical Steady Shot Professional lens. This is actually a crop sensor lens. I'm going to do a video about this one. This actually works out really, really well. I can take the 1/8" Gossamer Gear foam, put the lens hood right on it. I can then put it in this bag, which will protect it from the elements, protect it from dust and sand, which actually, in a video I'm currently editing down, a massive windstorm came through, put a bunch of dust all over my gear, and this was completely not affected by it. Now, my footprint looks like this. The next question is, what if I want to take my Lee filter system? Well, I've got a system for this as well. One of my favorite aspects of ultralight backpacking is being able to find multiple uses for the same pieces of gear. So one reason that I really wanted to go with this as well is because this is a fanny pack. If I set up my tent and I don't want to take my bag out for little side adventures, I can just strap this to me, and now I've got a little nice lightweight portable option that not only carrying camera gear but other things as well. This is a splint. This is a SAM splint. So what I've actually been doing is taking my Lee filter system, wrapping it up in this and just pinching it down. And now I've got a protective, ultralight way to be able to carry my filter system. And I'll actually put this in a Ziploc bag because if this were to ever break, I'd rather have shards in a Ziploc rather than in my bag. Never had a problem with it because this is very, very tough. And this is my current system on how I carry my gear. And this is pretty much what I carry all of the time. But how much does it weigh? Well, time to empty this and see what we can see. So the bag clocks in without its straps at 3.07 ounces, effectively 3 ounces of pack weight, which is stellar. If you remember, the original packing solution that I had was 11.5 ounces. To reduce that down to 3 ounces is a massive savings in weight. What is this weigh? Laurel Designs, we're looking at 0.78 ounces. Featherweight, this weighs 4.3 ounces. I actually have gone on backpacking trips and hikes where I actually had a friend who dislocated and broke her ankle, and I wish we had this more than anything. Ever since that trip, I carry this with me all the time. Okay, so this is the current setup, but why would I still be using these? I've built it in my camper to be able to carry this gear in one of the shelves. It's built specifically for the dimensions of this cube. I'm using this kind of on the same thing. Road trips, base camps, recently used this on a trip to Utah. These are still amazing products, and they fit I would say the vast majority of people's needs, but I will say this pretty much is the same price as this. So if you're torn between these two, I'm using this way more often than this. And here's the reason why. The way that I pack this in my bag specifically is that everything which is surrounding this is protecting it. So I don't need a ton of protection on either side. The way that I've got it packed in my bag, there is such little chance for impact damage to happen on the gear. The back of here acts as a good padding selection. My accessories up here do as well. I typically have my tent or like my puffy jacket surrounding this. And same with this. With the lens hood on, plus the Gossamer gear, plus this, I'm really not concerned on impact damage for any of this. So this is the current system that I'm taking with me about 99% of the time. And most all the videos that I've done recently, you can actually see these in use. And for me, I think that's about it. Thank you folks so much for watching. Hope this helps and gives some perspective. We'll see you on the next one. Woo! Oh yeah, Canon cam gear, baby. To see more of my work and to learn how to take photos like these, head over to my website at cadsbaker.com, sign up for classes and exclusive video.